I want you to take a look at these scenes and see if you can find the pattern. Well, to put it simply, this is fucking bullshit. But the problem with them is much deeper and harder to explain. And in order to help you fully grasp this concept, I have to take you back to more than 15 years ago. I'm basically a dumb little kid, full of excitement for my new DVD that my parents bought for me. I don't know what this animation is, I have no idea what this story is about, but by seeing this logo before it starts, I just know it's going to be awesome. I put it in the DVD player, I hit play, and after 10 minutes, I'm devastated. I was holding back tears and thinking to myself, what just happened? What is this crushing sense of unease I'm feeling, as if something precious had been taken away from me? The deep sorrow I felt for a fictional character and the strange sympathy I had for a fictional love story. Obviously, I wasn't alone. Many others from around the world have felt it too. So many people felt emotional while watching this beautifully crafted, iconic, and unforgettable sequence. But the real question is, how did Up do this in only 10 minutes, while many movies and shows can't build the same connection in hours upon hours? One of the most prominent elements of an impactful emotional story is the way it's told. The idea is simple. These two like each other and then fall in love. But the execution is what makes the difference between the love story no one talks about and one of the saddest scenes in movie history. The thing with most romantic stories is that the chemistry is usually forced. Instead of letting the viewers slowly drown in emotions, they shove it in their throat by relying on cliché tropes, like enemies to lovers trope, the love triangle trope, and some tropes as straight up toxic, like the stalking for love trope.
So will you go out with me?
What? No!
Alright, well you leave me no other choice then.
Or the disgusting abduction as romance trope. And if you don't know, Pop Culture Detective has a great video on these two tropes. I highly recommend you watch them. As you see, most of these tropes are overdone and usually feel inauthentic and forced. These types of romance happen when the script demands it, not because characters have earned it.
I love you.
Now, some works of fiction can get away with this, mostly because they are not supposed to be taken seriously. Some of them are not even aiming for emotional realism in the first place, like in Ted Lasso, where the main point is to make the audience feel good and laugh. So when a relationship is underdeveloped, no one really cares. But some shows are serious. For example, The Boys, one of my all-time favorites, the show I was rooting for since the first season. The show that would make me happy, sad, angry, or all kinds of emotions because of how good it was. The message of the show was important and was supposed to be taken seriously since the beginning. And since the first episode, the show was putting intentional effort to form meaningful romantic or non-romantic relationships. Possibly the best romantic one is the relationship between Kimiko and Frenchie. In Season 1, Frenchie is the only person who sees her as more than a weapon and shows her kindness and patience to gain her trust. In Season 2, Frenchie works hard to understand Kimiko's feelings, and Kimiko starts opening up. Frenchie tries again and again to support her through grief and identity struggles. In Season 3, they become closer, but the relationship is cautious and complicated. Frenchie's connection with Kimiko is the only thing that makes him feel human while he's being pulled back to his violent past. And by being in danger together, their connection is indirectly promised to get deeper. But then, this happens in Season 4. A random guy arrives and Frenchie is in relationship with him, and it ends quickly for the sake of shock value. This is exactly what I mean when I say they're together because the script demands it, not because they have earned it. Compare the beautiful emotional roller coaster with Kimiko to this new character that has been set to be important, just for the writers to find a way to give some sort of depth to Frenchie's character by exploring his past life. Now notice that it has been said that he's important, not shown. This character didn't earn his place. That is why the viewer doesn't care about him or their relationship, the romance that is not romantic. The problem is that they had already done it. They cracked the code to a meaningful relationship, but they fucked it up for the sake of virtue signaling and shock value. Just like how in Up, we get to know about Carl and Ellie's personalities, dreams, and relationship, we get to know about Kimiko and Frenchie's trauma, identity crisis, and struggles. That's what makes us care about them. The fact that it's earned through carefully crafted storytelling, consistent character development, and emotional payoffs that feel authentic rather than forced. That's why it's genuinely romantic. But what if the story was limited? What if a love story didn't need shared memories, physical touch, or even a body? Unlike Carl and Ellie, whose love is rooted in a lifetime of shared experiences, or Kimiko and Frenchie, whose bond is forged through trauma and trust, Her strips romance down to its most essential essence, the need for connection. Her doesn't rely on romantic tropes or even physical presence. It builds intimacy through long and awkward conversations. Theo being curious at first.
So do you know what I'm thinking right now?
Well, I take it from your tone that you're challenging me. Maybe because you're curious how I work?
But slowly opening up.
I think I hid myself from her, left her alone in the relationship.
And eventually exposing his emotions.
I wish you were in this room with me right now. I could put my arms around you.
Every single line, every moment builds up the emotional depth of this love story to make them earn their importance. It doesn't force anything. It builds up to their moment of comfort, happiness, or sadness. You could almost feel their frustration after their awkward debate about physical touch and sex. You could feel the sheer sense of urgency from Theo when he thought he lost her. By being immersed into this heck of a detailed script, you could feel whatever they feel.
Fine, we're fine. We used to be married, but he couldn't handle me. He wanted to put me on Prozac, and now he's madly in love with his laptop.
Well, if you'd heard the conversation in context, what I was trying to say...
I've always wanted to have a wife without the challenges of actually dealing with anything real. I'm glad that you found someone.
I know this movie is not about this relationship, and its message is deeper, as some video essays talked about it way better than my dumbass ever could. I believe it's remarkable how, even despite the limitation that half of this mutual love does not even exist in the physical reality of the movie, it creates such a deep and meaningful love story that becomes the core of this beautiful work of art. This is why we feel sad when it ends, but feel good when it's replaced by something better. As I said, forced chemistry is what destroys romance in fiction. Characters or relationships earning their place in the story is the main point of them being there in the first place, and this is what some writers tend to forget. Now, I want to finish this video by showing you the best and most profound quote about relationships that will help you in your lifetime.
I hate women. All they do is cry all the time.
That's not true. You know, men cry too. I actually like crying sometimes. It feels good.
I didn't know you were a little pussy. Is that why you don't have a girlfriend? I'll go out that date girl and fuck her brains out and show you how it's done. You can watch him cry.